Hi everyone and welcome to EduLive. So today in this video we are having the Rhapsody textbook workbook answers of chapter 1 and the name of the chapter is Abhisara. So we will begin with the text based MCQ questions and the answer of first is B. Answer of second is C. Now the answer of third is B. Then the answer of fourth is B part. And then let's move to fifth and its answer is D part. And the sixth part's answer is C. Then seventh is C. Eighth answer is B part. Ninth answer is B. And then let's move to 10th answer is B part. And 11th answer is A part. So now let's move to logic based questions. Now the answer of first part is dash dash he did not mind lying or sleeping at any place whether it is comfortable or uncomfortable. Okay, let's move to second part. He knew that the intentions of the girl were not pure and selfless. Now let's move to third one and the answer is he was in deep sleep. Okay, you can add the lines from the questions, remaining lines. Okay, so now the fourth answer is she was unaware of the impermanence of her youth and beauty. Now the answer of fifth part is their ways did not coincide. Now sixth part, she feared something wrong was going to happen. Okay, now seventh part, its residents had gone to the forest to celebrate the festival of flowers. Okay, now eighth part, she was affected with a contagious disease. Now ninth part, it would provide comfort to the woman. ना 10th पार्ट आंसर ही हैड गिवन अप ऑल वर्ल्डली डिज़ायर्स।
तो आज हमारे पास CUET की मैथ्स की क्वेश्चन बैंक का क्वेश्चन है। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं क्वेश्चन से। अ फिश ट्रेवल्स ऑफ अ स्पीड 15 किलोमीटर पर आवर इन स्टिल वाटर एंड द स्पीड ऑफ द स्ट्रीम इज 3 किलोमीटर पर आवर। फाइंड डिटरमाइन द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय downstream in 20 minutes. Options are 20 kilometer, 8 kilometer, 15 kilometer and 6 kilometer. So the explanation of this question is determine speed of fish is 15 plus 3 kilometer per hour. Convert the time into hours and then apply the distance formula, which is speed into time. So the answer of this question is 6 kilometer. तो ये है NTA CUET के मैथ्स की क्वेश्चन बैंक। इसमें आपको चैप्टर वाइज थ्योरी मिलेगी जिसमें लेटेस्ट ईयर का क्वेश्चन पेपर भी इंक्लूडेड है और न्यू क्वेश्चंस फॉर्मेट भी इंक्लूडेड है इसमें। और इसमें 1200 प्लस MCQs अवेलेबल हैं और इसको पब्लिश किया है ओसवाल पब्लिकेशंस में। ये आपकी प्रिपरेशन में बहुत ही ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल होगी। इसके इंडेक्स में सभी चैप्टर्स के कंटेंट्स हैं और आपको लेटेस्ट ईयर का क्वेश्चन पेपर का सॉल्व्ड पेपर भी मिल जाएगा और हर क्वेश्चन को सॉल्यूशंस अलॉन्ग विद उनके प्रॉपर एक्सप्लेनेशन अवेलेबल हैं इस बुक में। अगर ये आपको पसंद आई हो तो इसकी लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में गिवन है।
And had dedicated himself to the suffering humanity. Okay, now let's move to short answer questions. First part, the poet uses nature as an essential background in the poem. The first meeting of the monk Upagupta with the dancing girl Vasavdatta takes place on a dark cloudy night in the month of August during the monsoon. The darkness is symbolic of darkness in the mind of the dancing girl, though she is proud of the light of her beauty. This meeting ends on an indefinite note. Both Upagupta and the girl go on their respective ways. The second meeting between the two takes place again on a dark night, but now it is the month of April in the spring season. The girl is stricken with a pestilence. She is treated humanly by Upagupta. The girl's youthful light has vanished, though the inner light of the ascetic is intact as it was. Now let's move to second answer. Upagupta was a young ascetic, a follower of Lord Buddha. Vasavata was a renowned dancing girl. They first met in the month of August. Vasavdatta tripped over the body of Upagupta, sleeping in the dust by the city wall of Mathura. This awakened Upagupta. The girl asked for forgiveness as she could not see him lying there in the dark. She asked him to come to her house and have a nice bed to sleep. Upagupta declined her invitation, saying he would come to her when the time was ripe. Now, third answer. Upagupta had already met the dancing girl, Vasavdatta. He had given her the promise to come to her when the time was ripe. Now, when the girl, stricken with the pestilence and abandoned by all, needs someone's help badly, he has come. Unlike other human beings, he is fearless. He places the girl's head on his knees, applies balm to her body, and moistens her dry lips with water. He has recognized her as a true follower of Buddha. He does his humanitarian duty selflessly and fearlessly. He had turned down the girl's invitation earlier because then she needed no help and was proud of her beauty and youth. Thus, he proves himself to be a true devotee of Buddha. Now, let's move to fourth answer. Nature plays an important role in the poem. It is in the month of August, when the sky is dark and cloudy, that the dancing girl meets the ascetic by chance. In the pride of her youth and beauty, she tries to tempt the youthful ascetic Upagupta. The sudden onset of storm with thunder and lightning frightens her. It presages the calamity that will soon befall the girl. In less than a year, she is stricken with an epidemic. She loses her beauty and youth. Abandoned by all, she lies in the dust. Though it is the month of spring, the season of light and hope, she has no hope or light in her life. It is Upagupta who treats her humanly and provides her some comfort. Thus, nature plays an important symbolic role in the poem. Now let's move to fifth one. It is true that youth and beauty are not permanent. It is futile to be proud of one's youth and beauty. The dancing girl Vasavdatta is proud of her youth and beauty. She is not aware of the fact that she will lose all her physical charms soon. In less than a year, she catches an epidemic which is called smallpox. As it is a contagious disease, she is driven out of the city in fear. No one is there to help her. Then the ascetic Upagupta appears and treats her humanly. He fulfills his promise to come to her when the time is ripe. Now let's move to sixth answer. The dancing girl Vasavdatta was wearing a pale blue cloak. She was wearing jewelry which glittered in the dark. She was in the prime of her youth. She was beautiful and as such must have been the cynosure of her eyes. She was proud of her beauty and youth. So she invited the young ascetic Upagupta to her home. Upagupta shocked her by turning down her invitation. At that time, she knew little about what was in store for her. In less than a year, she lost her youth and beauty, which she was proud of. Now, let's move to long answer question. Now, the answer of first part. Ascetics are those who give up all worldly pleasures and comforts. They devote themselves to the service of humanity selflessly. In the poem Upagupta, a Buddhist monk is a true ascetic. He is young and handsome. He has inner beauty of soul, so his young face is described as austerely beautiful. It reveals about his austere life. A dancing girl named Vasavdatta comes across Upagupta when she trips over his body in the darkness of night. One day in the month of August, Upagupta has been lying asleep in the dust by the city wall of Mathura. Vasavdatta fails to notice him. Upagupta wakes up abruptly and looks at the young beautiful girl in surprise in the dim light of a lamp in her hand. The girl seems to be proud of her youth and beauty. She politely invites the young monk to her home, where he can sleep on a comfortable bed. He turns down her invitation, saying that he will come to her when the time is ripe. Obviously, he does not get tempted as he has renounced all worldly comforts and sensual pleasures, which, according to his religion, are the source of human grief and misery. About a year passes, it is springtime. Upagupta finds the same dancing girl lying at his feet near the city wall in the dark shadow of a grove. In the moonlight, he recognizes her. He finds her whole body covered with sores. She has been abandoned and driven out of the city as she is stricken with a contagious disease. Gupt was lying asleep in the dust. When he woke up, he looked at the girl in surprise. She was young and beautiful. She had worn a pale blue cloak and sparkling jewelry. Her face revealed that she was proud of her youth and beauty. She invited the young monk to her home, where he could have a sound sleep on a comfortable bed. He turned down his invitation and asked her to go on her way, and said that when the time was ripe, he would come to her. Upagupta's words were quite meaningful. Literally, he asked her to return to her home, but metaphorically, he seemed to tell her that she should go back to her world of comforts and pleasures. Her way of life was different from his. She was given to worldly pleasures which he had renounced. As an ascetic, he would go to those who were in dire need of help. Her pride in her youth and beauty revealed that she was in no need of any help at that time. So he promised to come to her when the time was ripe. That is, when she would be in real need of help. That time comes in about a year. Upagupta finds Vasabdata in a miserable condition. Her body is covered with painful sores of an epidemic. She is lying in the dust, abandoned and driven out of the city. None of her admirers is there to help or comfort her. This is the right time for a true ascetic like Upagupta to step in. Upagupta places the girl's head on his knees without any fear of being infected by her. He applies balm to her sores and moistens her dry lips with water. His help to a helpless person in dire need reveals that he is indeed a true ascetic. Now let's move to third answer. In the poem Abhisara, the triest, Tagore has used imagery which is both sensuous and functional. Most of the images in the poem are simple and familiar. They come from the world of nature. Hence, the reader is able to grasp and enjoy them. The poet has used two types of images, visual and auditory. Visual images built by description are predominant in the first segment of the poem. Set in the month of August, there is a beautiful contrast of light and darkness conveyed through visual images. The description of the dark surroundings is vivid and concise. Lamps were all out, doors were all shut, and stars were all hidden by the murky sky of August. The dark atmosphere is suddenly lit up by glittering jewels worn by the dancing girl and the dim light of her lamp. After a while, the flash of lighting in the sky dispels the darkness for a while. The black night is personified as a ferocious being, showing its teeth in a flash of lightning. The growling of the storm is an auditory image. These images together form a proper setting for the first meeting between an ascetic and a dancing girl, one representing inner light of knowledge and wisdom, the other darkness of ignorance and pride. In the second segment of the poem, set in the month of April, there are images of light and life. It is the spring season, the visual image of the branches of the wayside, trees full of newly blossomed flowers, the shining of full moon in the sky. The suggestion of the festival of flowers is fulfilling. The auditory image is made up of happy notes of a flute heard from a distance and the sad notes of the love-sick coal, suggesting that life, even in the spring, cannot be a totally happy affair, and it becomes clear with the mention of the poisonous contagion that has afflicted the dancing girl Vasantata. Thus, the use of imagery in the poem is quite skillful. It lends the poem a peculiar charm and depth of meaning. Now let's move to fourth answer. Though the poem Abhisara, the Triest, is not formally divided into parts, It has clearly two parts. The one is set in the monsoon month of August and the other in the spring month of April. In either of the parts, there is a meeting tryst between the Buddhist monk Upagupta and the dancing girl Vasabdata. In the first part, Upagupta is lying asleep in the dust by the city wall of Mathura. In the dark, a dancing girl Vasabdata stumbles over his body. In the dim light of the lamp, she looks at the monk with a young face that is austerely beautiful. Upagupta wakes up and looks at the woman in surprise. The woman, obviously fascinated by the young man, invites him to her room for a comfortable sleep. Upagupta turns down her invitation but adds that he will come to her at an appropriate time. In the second part, Upagupta finds the same dancing girl lying in the dust near the city wall of Mathura. She is in a miserable condition. Her body is covered with painful sores of a contagious epidemic. She has lost her youthfulness and beauty. She is in a dire need of help. Upagupta places her head on his knees, applies balm to her sores, and moistens her dry lips with water. Then he addresses the woman with the words, "The time at last has come to visit you, and I am your Vasabdata." The first part, the meeting between Upagupta and the dancing girl, ends on a discordant note. Upagupta, a real ascetic, feels that the woman is proud of her youth and beauty, so he rejects her invitation. In the second part, the meeting between the two shows the reversal of the situation. It is now the woman, not the ascetic, who is in need of help, and now the ascetic, finding the woman helpless, shorn of all pride, readily helps and comforts her. Moreover, the poet has compared and contrasted two different seasons in which the meetings between Upagupta and Vasabdata takes place. The darkness of the August night, its stormy atmosphere and frightening, while the darkness of the April night, with full moonlight, gay notes of the flute, and fragrance of flowers are life fulfilling. The poet seems to contrast the inner darkness of pride and ignorance in the mind of Vasabdata with the inner light of knowledge and wisdom in the mind of Upagupta. So this is all about this video. If you have enjoyed this video, just make sure to like the video and subscribe our channel. Thanks.